now watching I Shot Him Six Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times. What's going on, horror fanatics? Welcome to I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host and creator of the channel, Marcus. If you have not done so already, please shoot this stream a like, as well as share it to all your social media platforms. Definitely helps out with the stream of the channel a lot. As well as if you happen to be a new viewer coming across this channel, shoot that like button as well as that subscribe button, as well as that notification bell so you get all the latest content updates here to the channel. Guys, in this live stream, I'm going to be talking about Insidious 5, The Red Door. Non-spoiler. We're not going to talk about any spoilers. So if you did go out to see this movie tonight, be very, very mindful of those who have not went out to see this movie tonight, as well as of course, maybe some will go see it tomorrow, maybe at a later date. So we could talk about it, but don't get spoily with it. You know what I mean? We can talk about this movie without giving away some of the key components and some spoily stuff to it. So I'm really excited to talk about it. It may not seem like it. It is a little bit late. I have been running around all day, but one way or another, you already know I'm going to push through and we're going to get to it. And I have a very special guest with me tonight. You guys have seen him here on the channel plenty of times. My good buddy, Destin from Destination Station. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, Marcus? How you doing tonight? Doing all right?
Not too bad, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Are you feeling
not
excited
too bad.
about walking out of that? Do you feel fulfilled with Insidious? Or are you kind of like where I am on kind of like, I just want a little bit more?
Yeah, you said that perfectly. Hold on, let me set this bad boy up. But no, you said that perfectly. I'm right there where you are with it. I liked it. You know, I think it's a good movie. You know, I think it's solid. But like you said backstage, you can definitely tell it was Patrick Wilson's directorial debut.
Mm-hmm.
There definitely could have been more in this movie. There was opportunity, I felt like, to do so, especially with the buildup. I thought this movie was going to at least be 2 hours, maybe 2 hours and 5 minutes long, and it was an hour and 47 minutes long. So I do think that they could have extended it a little bit more, added some more suspenseful moments in it. But overall, I think it was a good film.
Yeah. I think it was a good film. Like, it doesn't have to be the best horror movie of the year. It doesn't have to be anything. It just has to be a good entry, and it has to be a good attempt, because as any content creator, whatever project you're on or whatever, man, you gotta show appreciation to what they put on screen, what they created, especially with it being someone's first time directorial debut. I mean,
Right.
I only wish that I could make something of this quality on my first directorial debut, and it probably will never happen. As far as like how good it is. But
Right.
I thought it was a really good attempt. I could see some people kind of ready for it to get going. It seemed like the drama was at the forefront more than the horror.
Yeah.
It was kind of, I felt like they touched on it too much, and like, I said backstage as well, like they could have tightened up certain scenes and kind of had what's the like a better pacing. That's the word, pacing. If it had a better pacing, I think that it would like stay with you throughout, and you could just like. But there was moments that I was kind of like, it felt like it was over 2 hours, in my opinion. Like, even though it wasn't, it kind of felt like it was over. I wasn't bored, but I could see other people getting bored with it.
Got to.
I just enjoyed it. I thought it was the stuff that did worked really well. And
I agree.
And so I think that more things worked than didn't work. I just think that they should have focused, had a little bit more tighter, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Real quick, let's acknowledge the audience here tonight. I appreciate you guys stopping in and hang out with me and Destin while we talk some Insidious: The Last Door. Again, this is a non-spoiler review. I know some of you out there who may have went to see this movie might be a little disappointed by me saying that, but guys, I do want to be mindful of others who have not went to see this movie tonight. Like I said, we can have a conversation about this movie without giving all the juicy details, and that's what we're going to do. So, real quickly here, what's going on, Shay? I see you said hello earlier, and then you said I'm back. LOL. Hey, what's going on, Shay? I hope you're having a great night.
Hey, what's up?
Yes, and like Destin said in the chat there, thank you, Destin. No spoilers, please. Absolutely. We can definitely have.
Sometimes they got to read it.
I
They
know.
might miss us saying it.
I know that is true, especially for anybody who's not watching right now that ends up coming in later and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I liked the movie. I thought there was definitely things they could have done better. I think the thing for me, you hit it right on the you hit the hammer right on the nail. Um, Not enough of horror and too much drama.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I get it. I get it for the storyline purposes. And I like the story. You know, don't get me wrong. I really do. It definitely ties in well with the original film and with the second film. If you're a fan of those two films, story wise, you will like this movie, I think. But they definitely could have done a lot more in terms of being more suspenseful, adding more ghouls and ghoulies. Like, what really had me excited about going to see this one, not only was Patrick Wilson in the original cast back, you know, it had me excited because I'm like, okay, there's opportunity here to not even just bring back the demon, the red creature that we've seen in the original, but you can add and bring even newer ghoulies and goblins into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, especially with the promotion behind it, like they were really like, hammering this home, like you got to go see this. I kind of felt like we were back in March with Scream and all that with the promotion.
Yeah. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. They marketed it as the ending, right? I heard something Patrick Wilson saying everything comes to an end or
Yeah,
something.
this is supposed to be, I
Full
believe,
circle.
this is supposed to be the end of the Lambert family storyline, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, one thing I want to mention, man, does that red demon, I remember thinking it back then. And what's the name? Is that what it's called? Just the red demon? I see Isaiah and
No.
Renee saying not enough of the red demon. Totally agree. But
Hold on, let me look it up here real quick.
I'm wondering what the actual demon's name
Name
is.
is. I've always wondered that too.
Yeah. I'm trying to
I mean,
find something on it, but
maybe
maybe it's just
it's
unspoken.
or maybe it's Insidious.
Maybe it's Insidious. Oh yeah.
Like
But does he not kind of resemble, if you don't look at him correctly, if he's in like the red lighting, does he
right.
not kind of resemble Freddy just a little bit in a boiler
Well, yeah,
room or
no, he
something?
does, especially with the nose and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe that was like part of me, like getting like Nightmare on Elm Street vibes here and there. Like I was kind of like, man, they're doing the whole Nancy and Glenn thing,
Right.
and I just think it was really cool. Like I almost said, or are they going to say the words "Don't fall asleep" or something? But no, I mean, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed. I think there were some things that I thought they were going to touch on that they didn't, because I mean, pretty much like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still a little fuzzy with the whole entire franchise. It's been years since I've watched it, and I probably only
Right.
watched them once. Um, wasn't it something like the ghouls or whatever? They had unfinished business or something back in the other ones. So I was trying to wonder, like why didn't we get more of who is, I'm not trying to give away spoilers, but who is this unfinished business? But it's like they didn't go
Right.
back to that. I mean, there was some, but why introduce some to the main storyline and show so much um screen time with them and then not really end on that story. Like I don't know if you know what
I
I'm
think
talking about. I don't want to say anything because I know
no,
it
no,
could be
no,
considered a spoiler.
no. I get what you're saying. I think you know. What I mean, it's just my opinion on what you're saying. I think basically the secret that we ended up finding out, the revelation. I think that was the unfinished business, but they built it up to where it gets revealed here. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because you know what I mean. In so many ways, with that revelation, I think a lot of those ghoulies that were a part of the Lambert's life started back then.
Okay.
And basically, because, you know, he's the child, he's the offspring, that's the unfinished business. You know what I mean? Because they got to bring one of them back. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
and
I get
stuff.
that. I get that one.
But
I,
it should have been more detailed and definitely just more added to it.
I was trying to see the budget on this movie because it seemed like maybe they cut the budget a little bit. Does it not seem like that? Like maybe they only had so much stuff to do, like the effects and everything. Maybe that's why they focused on the drama more.
I think they purposely focused on the drama more and
Okay.
cut back the effects. You know, just by the overall tone of the movie, how it started off, I was just like instantly once I seen, you know, especially the relationship between father and son,
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, I see where they're going with this because you got to remember in the original, he was very open about his non-relationship with his father.
See, I don't
So
even remember that.
yeah. So as soon as they went in that direction, I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here. We're going to focus on more of the family stuff. And I was just sitting there like, okay, that's cool. But man, when things start to get popping, you got to give me something really good. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, and there were moments where they did that.
Hmm.
There were moments, but then there was moments where it's like it happened, but it could have extended.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
real
It's
quick, the demon, he has multiple names. He's known as the lipstick face demon, also known as the man with fire on his face, the red face demon, sixth ass.
what?
That yeah, it's spelled Sixtass. or
Okay.
simply or simply the demon.
We'll just
That's
call him like Isaiah says, the red demon.
right, exactly.
No. What was it? Somebody's. Oh yeah, I remember those memes that came out a while back that they said he looked like Darth Maul or something. Do you remember
But he
those?
always reminded me of the Phantom Menace as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. Darth Maul in the Phantom
Yeah,
Menace. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember seeing those
I'm not
memes.
big into Star Wars, so I only knew the Phantom Menace's name as the Phantom
Yeah,
Menace.
I'm not a big Star Wars fan either, man. I mean, I watch them, but you know me, man. I just,
Right.
I'm a horror guy. Um,
I'm right there with you.
I will want to do a shout out about the young lady that was in this, that was his friend at college.
Yeah,
What was it? Chris. What was her
Chris.
name?
Yep.
Chris Winslow. Her name's Sinclair Daniel, and I was like, man, she is good.
No,
She
she's
is.
really good.
I was like, man, she's going places. Like she, I felt like she almost carried the movie a little bit,
She
and
did. You're
I,
not wrong about that. And this is my opinion. She was the most enjoyable character in the entire movie.
right, right. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I know that, like, Ty Simpkins, he did well for what he did, but I kind of got that Kyle Gallner vibe from the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street from him. Kind of like, just kind of like this guy that's kind of just like a little dreary, like um and I know that's his character. I know that's what he was supposed to be playing, but like I just felt like Chris or Sinclair, I think that she just overshined him a little bit. I was kind of like, man, I kind of want to see her kind of take over the movie a little bit.
Right. No, she was good. She was really good. Real quick, Isaiah Renee, do me a favor, please. No spoilers. No spoilers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No spoilers. I get it. It's hard. I understand. Trust me. You know what I mean? Me and Destin will be the first to tell you how difficult it is to not talk spoilers. But I just wanted to come on here tonight for like an hour, talk about it a little bit, not give away too much because there's a lot of people who hasn't seen it. There's a lot of people who didn't go out tonight. So I just want to be mindful of those people who didn't get to see it yet, who don't want to be spoiled, you know? And real quick, Val, what's going on, General? Salute. Saying, Marcus, are you doing a watch party with Craven tonight? I told Craven that after this live stream, I will most likely, be in. So you guys are probably going to end up starting while I'm just closing up, but that's fine. It's no big deal. At some point, I will be in. I'll say I'm probably going to like 1:30 tonight. Like I said, I just wanted to come on for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, talk about it a little bit. I don't want to go too long because I feel like if we start going super long, we're going to get into spoiler territory, and it's just going to happen that way. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think Craven's live right now with the Movie Bros or something. I don't know how late
yeah,
they're going on that.
I know he was on Movie Bros, but I think he messaged saying he's going live on his channel to do an impromptu watch party.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes. Yes. Shay's saying I've never seen any of them. And real quick, Isaiah Renee, you're good. It happens. Like I said, it's difficult not to talk spoilers, especially when you've seen it. You know what I mean? But don't you worry. Here over the weekend, I'm gonna make another live stream and we're gonna open the floodgates a little bit. We're gonna do some spoiler talk about it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the best way to go into this is no spoilers, like don't know
Right.
little to nothing. You'll probably enjoy it a lot more. You'll probably enjoy it a lot more if you don't even watch a trailer.
I
Um,
agree.
I just, it's been, like it's few and far between whenever like a ghost movie kind of like, I can say like, oh, that was actually a really good attempt. That was good. That wasn't some cheese, and that's one thing that I could say about this. I didn't feel cheese in this at all. I just felt like it was a slow burn starting off, and I could just see some viewers that are looking to walk into it and it's the next Nun or the next Conjuring or something with a bunch of jump scares, and it's
Yeah.
just they do come, and when they come, they do hit. Um you just got to build the story first, and then you go into it, which I don't mind. I think some of those kind of horror movies are the best with some drama. The first Conjuring, it had good drama, good family dynamics. You cared about these characters before the stuff started happening, before they were in, this situation. And that's how I felt about this. Like once stuff started happening, I was like, I care,
Right.
and I
I'll be
just
honest, Destin. I'll have to go back and rewatch the original Conjuring. I'll have to give it a real chance because when I watched it, I just gave it a chance, like as looking at it as just another paranormal movie. And
really,
and yes, and at that point, I was wiped out with it, man, because we had gotten so much,
yeah.
over the last like 20 years. And I'm just like, man, I miss my damn slashers. This is what I mean. Like, I'm tired of this. Like,
Dude, I know that feeling, man. I know that feeling because I remember I felt that for years. And but The Conjuring, I maybe my expectations were low walking into it because I was just kind of like
okay,
everyone's talking about this clap, and like I'm like, yeah, it's kind of creepy, but it's not frightening. You got
right.
to give me more than a clap. That sounds
I,
really weird saying that, but but
oh shit.
yeah. But when I walked into it, man, give it another chance, man, because what James
I
Wan
will.
was able to do, there was moments that I was just like, "Whoa, that's freaky!" Like it got me on the edge of my seat, especially
Okay.
that second half of the movie. Like
I'll give it
I
another shot. Maybe we could do a watch party here on the channel.
yeah,
Yeah, I
dude.
mean,
Hey,
I'll
man,
give it another shot.
it could be a great topic. When we've talked about when we're gonna launch Horror Hooligans podcast. Um, if we do like film fights and we put Insidious up next to The Conjuring and we give our pros and cons,
Right?
like and see which one's more superior because I need to rewatch the first Insidious. The way you feel about The Conjuring, that's the way I felt about Insidious. And maybe we just watched it on the different days or something like that. Like maybe we were both already feeling it, and the next movie was on
I just
your
I
your
feel like
radar was
for
The
me,
Conjuring.
why I liked Insidious was one because of that damn demon. That thing is cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But then like the story. The story is what got me hooked. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm ready for part two. And then part two, it was good,
Yeah,
but it was still a step behind the original. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give The Conjuring another chance. I'll see. You know what I mean? Another one I got to give a chance too, and this is all within the Conjuring universe, is Annabelle. I never really watched it. You
I
know what I
just
mean? Like,
yeah. See, that's the thing. It's like I've always heard that the second one, and did they make a third Annabelle? I can't remember.
I
I know they
think they
made
did.
two. I know that Annabelle Creation, everybody was talking about how it was a lot better. Because I think like Mike Flanagan maybe directed that one or had a hand on it or
Okay.
something. And that first Annabelle just sucked. That I just did not like the first Annabelle. I was expecting more. I just thought that it was gonna be something. And I was like, man, like this just ain't it. It had like
Right.
one or two good moments in it, but the rest was just like you just don't care. It's a forgettable movie. Um
Yeah.
Annabelle Creation, I watched bits and pieces of it, but I just couldn't bring myself to sit down and waste 2 hours with it because I was just kind of like had a bad taste of Annabelle. Don't really care about the Annabelle thing. I think it's a great backdrop for the Conjuring universe for this whole
Right.
entire thing. Having Annabelle here, whatever. I think that's kind of cool. But to surround a movie completely around Annabelle, I just, I just, I just don't care. Like it's probably I just don't care, man. Like
I don't
I,
blame you. Like I said, I watched a little bit of it. Like I turned it on, and then it was just like maybe like a half hour in. I'm like, man, this shit is boring. Let me turn it back off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just can't. I could never get into it. I If I'm gonna watch Dolls or something like
Chucky.
that, it has to have a personality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It has to make it fun for me. That's why I liked Leprechaun so much because he's got personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
And it turned it into a
Annabelle,
slasher.
right? Annabelle, she ain't got no personality. Megan
I,
got personality.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, I know that's the whole thing, but like, if you really want to make another Annabelle movie, make something to where Annabelle actually comes to life and starts walking around the house and grabbing a knife or something, like at least in like the third act. You don't have to do the whole movie like that, but give us something different. I need
Yeah, it just
more
seems
than
like all she does is stare at you through a case and bad things happen.
right. Yeah. I just I I just feel like it's weak writing. Like
Gotcha.
I'm like, man, I could have wrote this sitting on the toilet yesterday. I don't know. Like, like I don't know. I don't know. I
Real
did
quick,
hear.
saying I've never seen any of them. I'm talking about Insidious. Well, Shay, I'll say this: watch one and two. I'm not saying don't watch three. Watch all of them. But in regards to this latest one, you definitely want to watch one and two so you can understand the fifth one's storyline. Now,
Right.
the third and fourth one don't have nothing to do storyline wise with the original, but it does have a recurring character that comes back in all of these movies. I'll say that. But definitely give it a shot, especially the first and second one. I liked Insidious 1 and 2.
And see, that's another thing. Is like I felt like the additions that you're talking about. Try not to give away any spoilers, but I mean, if anybody, you know, I feel like they put too much on the posters. Like some of the posters have some of the reveals of what you're talking about. Like I'm just kind of like, why'd they do that? Like I don't know.
Right.
I don't.
Well, they, the whole marketing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The only one to go against that grain was Halloween Ends.
I think Halloween Ends went against a lot of stuff.
Oh
It
yeah, absolutely,
I think they were just like,
absolutely.
oh, you like that? We're gonna do the opposite.
Right. Agreed.
Um,
Val saying you need to give the Conjuring universe another chance, especially with Nun 2 coming out in September. Well, Val, you're not going to like this, but to me, the original Nun. What did Richie say to Sydney about Stab 8? It sucked balls. You know what I mean? Like, to me, and this is nothing against Bonnie Aarons. I think she plays the role fantastically.
mhm.
But I get it, it's supposed to be a slow burn. That's one of those movies, and I'm being honest here, I fell asleep on.
Oh dang.
I can't, and I've tried to watch it over again, and it's just like so boring to me. It's just like it's. That's one of the things in the Conjuring universe I probably will not go back and revisit. It's
Yeah,
just
I've heard that from a lot of people, and I went and took my daughter to go see it because she wanted to see it so bad. So she enjoyed it. I guess her enjoyment made me enjoy it more. I do need to rewatch it to know if I really like it or not. But I remember a lot of hate around it. But I remember there was like certain things that I did enjoy. But I do think the Nun 2 is going to surpass the original. I think they're going to
okay.
correct their wrongs. I think it's going to be.
Well, I will say this from watching the trailer in the theater, it does look more interesting than the original. I am a content creator, so I'm going to end up doing it. I'm going to end up talking about it, you know? So I'll give it a shot. I'm put this way, and maybe this is what's best for me with the Nun universe. I'm going into this movie not expecting anything. I'm not expecting to be happy.
Yeah.
So maybe that might work into my favor.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's probably the best way to go into it is just kind of like have some low expectations and maybe you'll come out of it pretty enjoyable. This does seem like I do like her too. We just saw her not too long ago. What's her name? Who played the nun?
Bonnie Aarons.
Bonnie Aaron. She was just she was just at
Yeah,
Texas Nightmare
yep, she was in
and
Texas. Yep.
she was at the bar. I actually went up. I didn't know the Nun 2 was already actually made. I thought they were talking about making it. And I went up to her. I said, "Hey, you gonna be in the Nun 2?" I can't believe I said that to her. And she was like busting me out in front of her. This son of a bee just asked if I was gonna be in the Nun 2. Who else is gonna be in it? And she was like, "Take a shot." And I took a shot with her, and I was like, "All right, sorry." And then she just later on, I was at another table, hanging out with some people, and she comes over there. And she says she just noticed that I said that to her the day before, and she just pointed at me, and she was just like, "You, this son of a," and she just brought up the same story. Said, "Am I going to be in the Nun too?" She's like, "How about you play the Nun too? You want to be the new Nun?" I was like, "No, I don't want to."
No, I don't want to be a new nun.
I don't want to be a nun at all.
I know that's right, man. But
Um,
yeah, but again, I liked Insidious. The last door. I mean, the red door. The last door. Goodness, the red door.
the
I
last
enjoyed
key,
it.
the red door, the
I
last key
know.
to the red door.
I know, right? It's such a tongue twister. It's ridiculous. They just need to stick with Insidious Chapter 4, Chapter 5. Just do it
Yeah.
that way.
Yep.
But I enjoyed it. I thought that it was good for what it was. The story lined up with the original too. I liked it, but it did get too many moments to where it was too much about it. And I wanted to see more stuff. I wanted to see more ghoulies. I wanted to see new ghoulies and not some of the same old ones. I get it. It's supposed to come full circle with the original too and with the original characters, but I just felt like an hour and 47 minutes was too short.
It was missing something.
Right. If
You
especially
can't
the
really
way
put
they
your finger on
marketed
it,
it.
but yeah,
With the
yeah,
way they hyped it up, I'm expecting something really epic, and it's not like it wasn't like revealing. They definitely did give us a good revelation. I liked the revelation, especially in terms of the story. You just could have added so much more to it. And I
yeah,
just felt like, I mean, who knows? Maybe with the unrated version and maybe some deleted scenes, we'll see some extra content that could have been in the movie they decided to cut. But, and I can't help but think, and maybe I'll have to rewatch it and then I'll maybe feel different. I just can't help but think there was a good few missed opportunities in this movie.
I agree with that. There was. It was just kind of like, "Ooh, you're touching greatness right here. Why are you pulling back so quick?"
Right.
It's like it's the further. Let's go further. Let's dive into this just a little bit more, especially if this is your last outing. I was just like, man, I just wanted like an epic showdown or something, like this is what it's all been going to. I'm just not convinced that this is the ending. And I mean, and it probably never will be, like these movies and whenever they become a franchise, they're never going to end. But like I honestly feel like this might be one of those movies that could have been saying what is it, like the same day debut, like on
Yeah.
streaming and at the
Yeah.
theater. Like I felt like I probably would have enjoyed this more just like sitting on my couch checking it out.
I
That's not to
agree.
take away from quality of the movie. It's just like I just don't think it was as epic enough,
Right.
if that makes sense. Yeah, and honestly, man, I would like are none of the Insidious movies, correct me, are any of them, are they all PG-13 or
All of them.
okay, well they need to make a rated R one.
I
They need to
agree.
they need to be like this is the most extreme Insidious or whatever because these are great, fantastic ideas and they just quit holding back and just go there. The Conjuring movies are
Yeah.
rated R and just take that extra mile, like
Right.
you're not going to lose your target audience because everybody that watched these movies when they were younger or whatever are of age now and even
Exactly.
teenagers are able to see rated R movies. So
Right. I
just
agree, man. I could you imagine if they would have bumped that rating to rated R?
yeah.
Like that they should have took that chance with this movie given how much they hyped it up. And I feel like we could have gotten a lot more better stuff if they would have did that. I personally don't know why they didn't decide to take that chance. I get it if you want to stay true to what you are and the type of content you are, which is mostly PG-13. But with this supposed to be the ending of this storyline and these characters, kind of went out more with a whimper more than with a bang.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, think about it, like Ty Simpkins. When the first movie was made, I mean, you almost like, whoa, I can't believe it's been that many years. Look at him. He's a grown
Exactly.
damn man now. So most of the
Yep.
audience back then that saw these movies are grown damn people now. So just make it a rated R movie and just go all out with it. I,
I
I don't
agree.
know if it's like a studio thing where it's like, no, this is our PG-13 horror.
Right.
It's just like with Megan. At least Megan was really entertaining for a PG-13, you
True.
know. I just don't think enough things happened throughout. It's like nothing really happens until maybe an hour into the movie, 45 minutes,
I
maybe.
agree.
And when it does, it's kind of like when we're getting to that climax moment, it's kind of like it's over. And it's kind of
Yeah.
like, wait, where's the next thing?
Right.
Why wait, don't end yet.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
They really rushed that ending.
Yeah.
They
And
did.
and I wonder if there's like more to it because I mean it's a good runtime. What was it? Like an hour and 45 minutes? That's a
Hour and
decent runtime
47.
for a movie like this. It just it felt like 2.5 hours, and they just need a better pacing. And Patrick Wilson did a decent job, but it might have been better if we did have Lee Winnell in the chair,
Right.
or somebody else that has more experience. So
I agree. I
I
agree.
don't.
He
But
did some good things,
mhm,
but you can definitely tell this was his first time making, at least being behind the director's chair.
mhm.
You can definitely tell that. And man, again, like it's a solid 3 out of 5 for me, but I really wish there was more to it. And there might be. There might be because with the way that movie ended, I'm not going to sit there and say that they're saying there's going to be another one with this storyline and with this family, but I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't the end for the storyline in this family.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't. With the way it ended, like some will say, that was more of basically, letting us know that it's over for the family, in that moment. But if you actually listen to what is said and the way it's said, you can make the argument that no, they want to sit there and come back to this, they will.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they could bring I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they even brought Chris's character back,
Right.
and brought her as a lead and being like, "Yeah, I experienced this once, and now I'm seeing things or feeling things," and because she got a little taste of it. Or even
Oh
Ty
yes, we
Simpkins. I
got.
mean, yeah, yeah, and then like you know, if you look at the casting on this, Ty Simpkins, the son is um, the leading cast, not Patrick Wilson.
Yep.
So they more like focused on him, like trying to make him a star and make him the focus, and which it really was. But to put his name before Patrick Wilson, there had to be a decision on that, but before they marketed this movie, and maybe they'll go on with his character. Maybe it'd be him and Chris, or something like. I don't think it's over. But as far as like Patrick Wilson, and I mean, it could be over for the family, but I think that there's going to be another Insidious movie somewhere down the line. Um, yeah, I mean, there's always a way. There's always a way to bring it back. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to talk about it without giving away any spoilers, but
It is.
if I had to say, I don't know where I'll rank it. I was thinking that when I made my short and everything, and put it on TikTok, but like I I had to rewatch them to in order to rank it, but I would say that this may be the least one I would ever rewatch again. Like if I had to like pop in an Insidious movie, this might be the one that I like hesitate to pop in again. Like I might pop in another one. And that's not to say it's a bad movie, it's just to say that there's more enjoyment out of the other ones. Like I said, this is like the forefront is drama first, horror second. Oh, we got somebody coming in. What's going on? Am I froze? Are you froze? Is the stream froze? I'm lost. I'm in the further. You there? There you are. What's going on? I thought we had a third person coming in. I'm getting scared. Oh, I'm running the show now. Yeah. I don't know if we're even still live right now. Let me check. Marcus, did your internet drop or we get kicked or what? What's going on? All right. Anyways, yeah. Um, Val, you said have to remember some of these movies in the Conjuring universe are based on true um stories, so you're not going to get the Chucky style movie. Yeah, yeah, very true, very true. But I mean, they're like loosely based and they're a little exaggerated. I but you got to think about like even The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, like especially The Conjuring 2, Val. It was a little bit, I wouldn't say Chucky style movie, but it was, with the Crooked Man and all that kind of stuff. It had a lot of, it had some CGI, had some like crazy characters and some crazy things going on. I just really feel that Annabelle would, they just need to take it to the next level, like yeah, it's a little bit based off true stuff, but like we're to the point to where we're not basing it off that anymore. We're trying to grow the franchise. So let's grow it. Let's just take it into any direction that we want to. That's how I feel.
Sorry
What
about that. No, listen. I had to switch over to my other phone or whatever because the battery was dying on the other one, and when I tried to charge it, for some reason, it wasn't like charging properly. So I switched over to the other one.
Oh, that's cool, man. I thought it showed like you over here, and then
Yeah,
it
I know.
showed another one come in. I was like, "Are we having a third person come in?" And so it freaked me out when I saw you come in. I was like, "I'm confused."
We'll hit you with that unfriended shit.
Oh man, that was
Oh
crazy,
man. But yeah, man, like I agree. Like this, I understand what Val was saying about, we're not going to get Chucky style stuff with the Conjuring universe because it's, more based on true stories. But and that's cool and all, but that's why I just don't really get into the dolls, at least of the Conjuring universe, because I like my dolls to have personality. Like I just feel like it's just more compelling that way. But I'm going to give the original Conjuring a shot. If I like it, we'll see about the other ones. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to go into it with a negative view this time. I'm just going to go into it like, you know what? Clean slate. Let's see what it does for me.
What about, have you seen Conjuring 2 or 3?
No.
Really?
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, like I stayed away from this franchise, man. Like I said, I just at that point in time, I was just completely wiped out with the whole paranormal and all that stuff because that's all it had been really, and the remakes that we did get with the slashers didn't do that well, didn't sit that well with many of us. So it's just like I like paranormal horror, but I just feel like there was so much of it coming out within the last 20 years
Yeah,
at that time.
yeah, and we were getting like exorcism movie or ghost movie or demonic movie or
Right.
whatever, and it was just like, come on, when are they going to bring slashers back? And I'm so glad that we're going up that hill right now, but we're still dabbling to fill in the blanks. We still got these ghost movies and exorcism movies still coming in. But dude, I have to say, man, out of the entire Conjuring universe, the Conjuring movies are probably the best. Especially those first two. The third one, a lot of
Okay.
people didn't like because it was different. I actually liked. I walked into it knowing it was going to be different because that's what they said a lot of times before watching it. And I kind of liked the approach. And I was like, yeah, I don't mind this at all. Like, but the first two Conjuring, dude, we gotta watch those, man. I want to see
All
your
right.
expression.
Like I said, I'm gonna give it a shot, man. I'll give it a shot, and I'll go into it with a clean slate, and I won't look so negatively on it. Like, oh, here we go with another paranormal movie. I'm just gonna go into it like, you know what? Let's see what the Conjuring has to offer, Marcus. You know what I
I'll
mean?
set it
Like,
up on my stream. How about that? And
that's
I'll
cool.
invite you to it, and we'll do one Conjuring one week, maybe the second Conjuring the next week, and then the third one, and just see where it goes. Now, there is a movie I own, but I have not watched. But apparently it was a secretly as a Conjuring universe film called The Curse of La Llorona, the Hispanic
I
witch
heard
or
of it.
whatever. Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I own it. And then they said that, like, yeah, there's like some characters in there that's from the Conjuring universe and playing the same exact characters. So I was like, why did they hide it from the Conjuring universe if it isn't the Conjuring. So I haven't even seen that one. That might be one that we could do a watch party on. Just because it'd be fresh for both of us. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
Would you say it's not a part of the Conjuring universe, or they didn't mention it?
they didn't market it as the Conjuring universe, but once you watch it, you realize that there's certain characters from the Conjuring universe playing the same characters, and it's supposed to tie in with the Conjuring universe. So I was like wondering, why did they ignore that?
Right.
You think you would want to market that? So maybe it's a movie they just kind of
Maybe.
threw away. I don't know.
I was about to say, yeah, maybe that's a movie in so many ways they was trying to tell us is caca.
Right. But it was crazy because like right after that, I went to Mexico City with my wife to see her family, and I went to the actual house. I went down the river on this boat, and I went to the actual house of La Llorona, where she has the baby dolls hanging all in the trees and hanging all over the place. And it was really it was pretty wicked. It was pretty wicked. I went to I pulled the boat. Well, we pulled the boat over, and I stepped out, but I never went on the property or anything like that. I just kind of stepped out. I was considering it. I was like, man, I need to make some content right now. There's an episode of Ghost Hunters about all that. And I was kind of late to the game to the Curse of La Llorona stuff. So like with my wife being Hispanic,
I'm not gonna lie, man. Even though I absolutely despise the original Blair Witch Project, excuse me. Even though I absolutely despise that movie, maybe some might call me a weirdo for this, but I've always wanted to explore the woods.
Dude,
and see if it was true.
I've always wanted to do it too, man. Just to do it, you know. And
right.
I've always wanted to go out there, man. I've always wanted to go. I grew up. My parents built a house like way out in the woods of Mississippi, like bought land, built a big old house. Like they gave me a camcorder when I was really young, and I was always in the woods, man. And so like Blair Witch Project kind of hit me at the right time, kind of like the whole thing. I hated the shaky cam stuff, wasn't a big fan of it. A lot of people hated it. I kind of liked it, but I never cared enough to rewatch Blair Witch Project again. Like it was like a one and done, and it was like, okay.
Bro,
Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, Paranormal Activity is good.
I
the
like
first
that.
one. The first one.
The first and the third the best.
Blair Witch, I remember it so well. My mom took me and my sister to go see this movie. Halfway through, we all looked at each other, and my mom was like, "You guys want to leave?" And I was like, "Let's go." It was so boring. Like, I get it. It's found footage and all that stuff. But man, like it was just so uneventful. And then it's just like, oh, you're getting afraid by these stick figures. And it's like, come on, man. Y'all was putting that up when the camera wasn't on y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and then I'll say this, Book of Shadows, I didn't mind it because it was at least eventful. And I liked the ending of that movie. It was,
bro,
that was a twist.
Bro, I have to say, I don't think Book of Shadows gets enough credit.
It doesn't.
People like shit on that movie, and I'm like, I remember seeing that movie like 2 or 3 times in the theater whenever I was younger, and I was just kind of like, I kind of dug it. I love the Marilyn Manson song that comes on at the beginning, kind of gets you in the feel. I love the whole documentary side of it, and they're like, I mean,
you want to know also why that movie did well, at least for me? It's because they had more than adequate actor, Jeffrey Donovan, playing in there.
Right, that was like his
early young role. Jeffrey Donovan.
Yep, and he was so charismatic. He carried the movie. It was good.
Yep.
It even had the girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake of like the 2000.
Yeah.
She was in it. She was up and coming, and there's certain things. near the end of the movie, I would have changed. I was kind of like, I kind of wanted to go in that direction, but
Right.
it didn't. But I was like, I kind of like it. And for people to, it's kind of weird how audiences are and critics. You know, everyone's a critic nowadays, and it's kind of like it's like people shit on the first movie because it was all found footage and was shaky cam and it was this and it made them nauseous, whatever.
Right.
And then they make a movie that's about the first movie, but they make it about like more Hollywood, I guess you would say. Like they were making an actual movie, and then stuff happened, and then people were shitting all over it because it wasn't like the original. And it was just kind of like, how do you please everybody? You know, like you can't. You can't. You're gonna have split audiences with everything. So
right, man. You can't.
But I would have
you
to say
really
that
you can't please everybody. You
The-
know, there's going to
Book
be
of
movies
Shadows
we
was
think
good.
it was. You know what I mean? I think it was a good film. I think it was way better than the original. Way better. You know, and I will say this, I liked the Blair Witch remake because they actually showed things. Like they actually showed you what they were up against.
Right.
You know, like it wasn't just some, oh my gosh, it's coming, and it's like, well, what? You don't see anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and
At
then
least show
we
like
did
a
get to
face
the
in the
end,
darkness or something that like that's on your tail.
something.
Don't show us nothing.
Right. When you get to the house in the ending and she sees her friend in the corner basically hanging up or whatever, and then the music intensifies, and then all you hear is like somebody knocks her out.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
Yeah.
It's like, it's this, you know, like.
But it created a
Blair
subgenre.
Witch.
You got to respect it on that level.
That's true. That is
It,
true.
it was creative. We just wanted to see something. I think it would have been a lot better if they did just show something. Like it would have been better if we saw something chasing them, but we couldn't really make out what it was. You know, kind of keep it as a mystery.
Right.
But yeah, it's
You want to know why else I can't
I've
stand
never
that
cared
movie?
to go back to watch it.
You want to know why else I can't stand that movie?
Hmm.
Because if there's one thing I got to give them credit for doing, they said they had me sold on that was a true story. I thought them people was gone. I didn't know they was actors.
That's what they did. They even created a website, dude. They
did a good job with that.
Yeah.
They killed that. They had me sold because I thought that they was gone. And then I remember like years later, probably like 6-7 years later, I'm in my teenage years now, and I'm on YouTube because that's when YouTube start blowing up or whatever. And I just remember seeing this whole interview, and it's like Heather Donahue or whatever. And I'm like, why does that name look so familiar? And I click on it, and it's the chick from Blair Witch, and I'm just like, oh shit. You like that?
That scared me for a second.
I just was like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, you're alive? I thought that you were dead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, well, I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad it wasn't real, but had me sold.
Yeah.
So Jacob Bosky says, so it was not as good as any other Insidious movie. Rushed ending, 70% of telling everyone what happened before.
I wouldn't say it's 70% of telling everyone what happened before. This is more of a father-son story. And they're discovering things about their past. That's not really a spoiler. That's kind of like what the trailer showed as well. But I don't want to say it's a rushed ending. I just want to say it wasn't enough in the ending. That's how I'll say that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think it was kind of rushed.
Yeah.
Like, just the way that they played that ending out in terms of how you're going to stop the big bad monster from coming through. it just, man, this is how they do it. Like I personally was like, I like it, but it's like I don't like it because it's like that's it.
Right.
This is what stops them from coming through.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Like they definitely could have did a lot better with extending some things and focusing less on the drama and creating some more monsters, some more suspenseful scenes. Like, but again, I liked it.
Yeah.
And to Jacob, I personally liked 1, 2, 4. I did not really like 3. And that's just me.
That's the
I
thing
didn't
is I
really
don't think I've really even watched 3. I know my kids did when it came out. When it came out. And they were like, Dad, they've always been, into horror just because of me, and so it's kind of rubbed off on them. But they watched 3, probably more than any of them. And I just never watched 3. I kind of wanted to check it out. Is it a prequel? Is 3 a prequel?
If I can remember, I don't think so. I mean, it might be. You know what? You might be right. Because I haven't watched it in a little bit.
And
But
Dermot Mulroney's in it, right?
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I might
I
give that a
think it is
shot.
I think Insidious 3 and 4 are prequels.
Oh, 4 was as well?
I think some of the story was like based on a prequel. I think it was. See,
Okay.
now I'm going to have to go back and rewatch 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's probably what I needed. I mean, I really need to rewatch all of them. But yeah, I definitely need to check out 3. I remember a little bit about 4, but not much. I went to the theaters to see it, but it was one of those movies I felt like it was kind of forgettable.
Right.
I didn't think it was bad. I just
Well,
didn't.
I honestly, I mean, like I said, I think 1, 2, and 4 are my top 3. I liked 4. I liked
Okay.
4 because they had a lot of good, in my opinion, they had a lot of good jump scares, a lot of good suspense scenes. I ain't gonna lie, they made me jump a couple times when I watched that one. Like they got my ass a couple times.
Yeah.
So that's why I remember it pretty well. But the story wise, like in terms of it maybe being a prequel or not, I got to rewatch it again. It's been a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's been. I think I've never watched any of the Insidious movies. At least if I've watched them, it's been one time, and I probably wasn't watching them that close. The most I remember is the first film.
Right.
But I still need to rewatch that because what year was the first one made? Like it was so
9
long
years
ago.
ago. So in 2014, I believe.
Oh well, that isn't that long ago.
No,
I
if
thought
I'm
it was
not
longer than
mistaken, let me
that.
make sure though. Let me make sure because that might because the events of where this was picking up was 9 years. So I'm
Okay.
assuming that it is.
Well, it feels like it's longer than me. To me, at least. I don't know. But yeah, I was looking at it. And I was like, I don't even think I own any of the Insidious movies. So I was like, man,
No,
I might.
the first one came out in 2010.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's more like 13 years.
Yeah. So hold on, let me look at 2. Okay. So I see what they did. They basically, in timeline wise, is picking up right after 2. So that makes sense in terms of the year because it came out in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's all right. I
Jenna
still just want to.
Ortega, Jenna Ortega was Insidious too, part 2 as well.
What?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Was she like a main role?
Annie, I
Dude, I gotta
believe.
rewatch Insidious 2 then because I guess The only thing I remember from Insidious 2 was a little kid running out of a cupboard. I remember that. Or is that the first one?
I believe that might be the first one, but it might be both because you got to remember they show flashbacks.
Okay. Yeah. See, dude, I just got to rewatch them. I gotta rewatch them.
Okay, so here we go. She is. Fuck. Okay, I'm trying to remember exactly what her role was, like as Annie. I want to say, was she one of? I got to rewatch 2. I got to rewatch 2 again too. Like, it's been quite some time.
Didn't you tell me you never seen the movie Demonic?
No, I haven't.
You know that's produced by James Wan.
Yeah, I remember you said something about that.
Yeah, dude. Like, this movie was like coming out in that era of The Conjuring and Insidious and all this stuff. That's why, and I was like so hyped to see Demonic, and then it got shelved for like a couple years, and and then it just got dropped. Well, it got leaked on like Yes Movies or 123movies.com or whatever. And like you could watch this movie, but it wasn't out yet. So that's how I checked it out. It was like full HD version. And I was like, wait, I remember this movie being marketed to come out in theaters. It was kind of like, remember me telling you, like, it was kind of like that same scenario with Mindhunters. It got shelved for a couple years and just didn't come out. And then it just got dropped without any marketing because they used it all up 2 years prior. And it's just a shame because I thought Demonic was pretty dang good supernatural type movie, like one of these, like Insidious or The Conjuring. I was kind of like, man, and it had a really good twist, kind of like a whodunit type aspect to it. And I was like, man, this movie
Mindhunters is really good. I'm glad you put me on to that. That is a really good movie.
Yeah, dude. The next movie that I think I'm gonna like try to put. I'm not talking about the 2021 Demonic movie. There's been a few movies called Demonic. It's in 2015, the Demonic one. It has Maria Bello in it too. But man, it's so good, man. It's so good. I mean, I'm not going to say it's like the greatest movie of all time or nothing like that, but it's definitely got this flair of James Wan and Lee Winnell and all that kind of stuff. You would be like, man, yeah, they made this movie.
See, for what I'm looking at the cast list for Insidious 2, I don't know if I can't remember if Jenna is a main character, but she's in the movie. I can't from what it looks like on the cast list, it doesn't seem like it, but she still could be. Maybe because let me see. No, Dermont wasn't in 2. I think he was in 3. That's right. Yes, I don't know. It just says her name is Annie, and it doesn't say if she's related to anybody or anything. So maybe she's just like another little girl who ends up haunted or goes through the same things or something. I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't remember her.
I will say this about Insidious. For me, especially being for a PG-13 franchise, it's not bad.
See, that's what I've always wondered is like, what made The Conjuring rated R? Because there's like no F-bombs, there's no gore. And same thing with Insidious. I mean, actually, this Insidious actually did have an F-bomb.
I think the fact that The Conjuring is more based on true events, maybe that aspect of it, that's what probably drove it to the R rating. Did they have a lot of foul language in it?
No, there's like no cussing.
That's weird.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. They said it's strictly because how frightening it is.
Strictly because how frightening it is.
Right.
Huh. It's interesting. Well, I can't wait to watch it now.
I can't say the same about Conjuring 3, but they said that about Conjuring 1 and 2.
So, okay, I'll ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how frightening is Conjuring 1?
Dude, it's up there for me. Honestly, like especially where that ending goes, like that second half of that movie. Man, there's like I don't want to take away from any of the like surprises if you can't remember them or what, but man, there's times where I'm just like that is scary AF. like I'm
Right.
like I'm like, man, that's good cinema right there. That hits. Like there's a scene, I don't know if you remember it, where like they're all just like, all right, nope, we're done. We're gonna leave this house. And the mom just gets jerked back and she's trying to hold on and they're all trying to pull her out of the house and she just gets pulled all the way down the hallway and down the cellar. Like it wouldn't let her leave. I was like, man, it's creepy,
See,
dude.
we're gonna have to do this real soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you give The Conjuring a chance, I think you'd really like it. It probably we were just really around that time, we were just really oversaturated with a bunch of ghost and demonic and exorcism movies that I was like so over it. Like it almost made me not a horror fan anymore. I was like, man, is this what I have to look forward to for the
This is
future
what
of
I'm
horror?
saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Like Saw, people don't understand Saw really. I mean, even though it was like more based on traps and it was really gory, Saw kind of kept in so many ways the feel of a slasher alive to some degree
Yeah.
because of the whole whodunit aspects behind it. Even though after what the third or fourth one we knew it was Hoffman, they still did a good job of the twists and turns. With that franchise that kept it alive for so long, and that was the savior for me in the 2000s as a diversion from all the paranormal stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and you had your other good couple little slashers here and there, like I forget the one that me and that Craven actually did a live watch party on. And I think it's a Wes Craven movie, and it had Max Dariot in it.
My Soul to
Man,
Take.
I think that might be it.
Yeah.
Yep,
My
My
Soul.
Soul to Take. Yes, My Soul to Take. That was a good one.
Yeah, yeah, it
That
definitely
was
has good elements in it and good moments for sure.
yeah. Like another one that I actually it kind of grew on me that I really didn't care for initially, but when I went back and gave it a couple more chances, it kind of just grew on me a little bit. Sorority Row.
Man, okay. um that was actually the first movie, probably one of the first dates me and my wife ever had was seeing Sorority Row. And she was
Nice.
like, "You took me to see this movie for our first date." And I was like, I didn't know it was gonna be girls, girls, girls gone wild. I didn't know it was gonna be a little bit like that starting off. But it
Right.
does have some cool, like,
Hills in there, man.
yeah. You talk about like the champagne bottle and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
man.
Like it was really cool. Now I figured it out way before the movie was over. Like I don't know how I think it was just like I was just like really watching it and I was like, hold on. This doesn't make sense. It's got to be this.
Right.
But that's a movie I kind of want to rewatch and I think there's an
Rewatch and
underrated
revisit,
version.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I like it. It's not bad. It's okay. Jimmy Hoffa says, I believe Annie was the little girl at the end of 2 who sees Elaine's ghost. Okay. That's, again, I'll have to rewatch it. It's been a while. I cannot remember. I'm just going to be honest. I just know, like I said, going into Insidious 5, The Red Door, that this movie was going to be following the original 2 films. And that's what intrigued me about it. Nothing against 3. It was okay. Just didn't really hit the mark for me. Last Key, I thought was good. But I still felt that what was missing was the original characters in the story. And that's one thing that is really a high mark for me about Insidious Red Door is that we did get Patrick Wilson back. We did get Ty Simpkins back. We got Rose Byrne back. we also got the brother too. You know what I mean? The younger brother. He was in the second one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so like they did a good job bringing back the main family and stuff. There was no like recast or nothing like that. And like Destin said earlier, the character Chris, she was amazing. Like like I agree with Destin when he says she carried that movie.
She really did. She really did. I was kind of like, man, like even if they like continue Insidious franchise, make it about her. Make it about her experience, and like something gets, the red door comes about or something, like she's an art major too, wasn't she?
Yup. No. She was in math.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, make it happen. I don't know.
Right.
I just think
I will say this. I mean, she had a couple close calls in that movie. And
I thought she was a goner.
Me too. One thing I did not like, I will say this, is that there really wasn't, I mean, I guess I'll get this spoily about it. There wasn't no real fatalities.
Okay, I knew you were about to go there, and I was going to say something about it earlier, and I was like, I don't know if you want me to or not.
We can go there for that one. We can kind of spoil that. There wasn't no real fatalities, and I get it. It's not really the style of Insidious, but even in previous movies, they just the violence, was more there. Like even if nothing like nobody died, just the aggression was there, man. And
right.
I felt like, especially compared to 1 and 2, that's what this one was lacking.
So were there fatalities in the first two? See, I don't even remember them that well.
Well, see, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say there is in 2. I know for a fact there is in 1.
Okay. Yeah, because I kind of remember that ending. I remember that ending a little bit. That was kind of cool. I was hoping for something similar in this one,
right?
Like, just to kind of.
It came close. They pulled the trigger too early. That's what they did with that, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
They were this movie. Okay, here's the thing.
What's up? Hold on, real quick. What's up, Flat? How you doing tonight, man?
Yeah, what's up, Flat? What's going on? Like we said, like the drama is the forefront, the horror is the backdrop, but they were also trying to do those emotional tugs as well.
Right.
And that's kind of like how the movie kind of leaves you with. You're kind of like, I feel like I just watched a drama, like more than I watched a horror movie,
Right. I don't know if you got these vibes off of it, but maybe, and I did, but it kind of felt like with the ending, with what we saw and who we saw, in so many ways, it felt like Scream 3's ending for Nev without seeing something.
Yeah.
Like how the door opens and there's nothing there, but it's like a symbol to let her know everything's going to be okay. That's kind of how I felt about with this one. But like I said, if you really listen to what is said, the door is creaked open.
Mm-hmm.
But I just felt like I do feel like the ending was rushed. I like it, and I don't like the way they closed the door per se. I felt like it was entirely too simple. I felt like if that was how you defeat the monster, you could have just did that at the end of the second one.
That's
and
true.
never revisited this story years later again. That was just too easy. I wanted to see more of a fight. You know what I mean? Like to keep that demon out.
Well, like Patrick Wilson, even though that he's the director on this one, Lee Winnell, and who's the other guy that wrote this?
I forget his name.
Wes? I forget the name. I have to look it up. So I wonder if this was like an idea, a script that was written, and it's like they just chose not to go with it. And that's whenever we got
Scott
Insidious 3.
Teams. That's his name.
That's it,
Scott Teams.
Yeah, Scott Teams. And that's why we got, Insidious 3, we got Insidious 4, The Last Key. And then it was just kind of like, Patrick Wilson's just kind of like, give me a shot. I want to direct something. And they were like, hey, we got this script that we were going to write for y'all. But I have to say, as somebody that does write scripts, and I love creating stories, and I hope for one day I can put my script to screen one day, or scripts to screen, but it does feel like first draft. It feels a little first draft. It doesn't feel like it seems like it was something that was just like, here's a script, make it happen. Patrick Wilson did an okay job, but maybe it could have been a little bit better if somebody else was in the directing chair. And that's nothing to take away from Patrick Wilson. He's a great actor. He's obviously a decent director. It just needs to be tightened up a little bit, and it needs a little bit better pacing, and we need more action. We need something that like pops off every 15 minutes or something that kind of keeps us, awake.
Right.
This one just was like, it was just like the moment the movie started, it was like you were slowly going down, and then 45 minutes to 50 minutes maybe started going up. And then, but it didn't peak. It never felt like it peaked.
Right.
It felt like it was like, all right, we got here. This is familiar territory, and it's like we just stayed here, and then it just kind of ended on a going back down. And it's like, if you're going to market this to be the ending, if you're going to market it to be all this, man, do it. Go make it happen. Like I honestly thought it would be cool if there was like this big action set piece in the further. And you know how like the demon, I don't know, and I can't say for the previous movies, but you know how like he, puts the shackles on whoever.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be really cool to put the shackles on that motherfucker. Like, put the shackles on the red demon and have him, captured down there for eternity or something, like something cool.
Right.
At least just give us a little fight scene in that little area. You know what I'm talking about.
Right. The more I think about it, the more I do think there will be another one. Maybe
the red demon's still there. They never.
Yes. As well as years down the line, maybe Ty Simpkins' character, he has kids, he has a family. Because the reason why I say that is because I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, this was more about capping off the storyline for Patrick Wilson's character.
Yeah.
His story arc, his backstory, because basically this all started with him. They just basically started it off with Dalton, but then slowly backtracked us all to lead us to this point that this is all about him and his father. This ain't really about Dalton and him. This is about him and his dad. You know? So I think by capping off this character, the father character, I think that eventually down the line, if they want to, they might bring Ty Simpkins back into it, and maybe you go the family route with him and start this thing all over.
That's what I was thinking with putting him as the main cast lead over Patrick Wilson. They were obviously trying to set a point like this is his movie.
Right.
And we can say, and the hope that it leaves at the end for certain characters, I'm not going to say. Maybe that's moved on, and then, maybe the son takes over and you can go in a certain direction. It really all depends by the end of this weekend of how financial this movie's going to be before we see another Insidious movie. Because I don't know if you've been watching the box office, man, but like big blockbusters have been like flopping like crazy. It's I don't know what's going on, but movies just are not being financial successes here. But what Blumhouse does that's to his advantage is that he makes movies pennies on a dollar and makes a big return on it instead of dropping $100 million onto a movie or $150 million on a movie. He puts $1 million to $5 million, hoping to make at least 10 or more, or 30 or more if it's big success. So I'm trying to. I need to see that because like I kept thinking, I was like, man, what is the budget on this movie?
It's funny you say that because I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, I don't.
They did say the franchise is going on hiatus after this one. So by saying on hiatus, that means there will be another one, but that doesn't mean obviously we'll focus on these characters.
Yeah. This is kind of like just the closing.
The budget is likely around 10 million, between 10 and 11 million, according to Screen Rant.
I'm trying to figure out where that is. I'm trying to figure out.
The last key boasted a $10 million budget, so they're assuming it's around the same.
I mean, with it being a Blumhouse movie, I wouldn't see it being over or less, or I mean, like over 10 million. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know how much these stars got paid. You could definitely tell that like Rose Byrne's character was kind of plugged in.
Yeah.
There, that's kind of that I wasn't really kind of like digging a little bit. So maybe because of her fame, the way she's been in movies over the years, maybe she's just really expensive to get.
Yeah. And maybe she's also just really kind of tired of doing it.
She might be tired of doing it.
These aren't really, when you really think about it,
for a favor.
Outside of Insidious, what other type of movie like this have you seen her do?
Yeah. I mean, she's been in stuff with Seth Rogen. She's been in Bridesmaids.
Yeah, she's more like comedy. And stuff like that, like dark humor. This was definitely a step outside of her realm. And I personally think, especially with how she was cast in this movie, we won't ever see her back in this franchise.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that.
Yeah, I personally believe that too.
Like, what's up, Adrian? I hope you're having a great night.
Adrian.
Yeah, man. Okay, so they're projecting it's around a $10-11 million budget that they spent for this movie. I'll say this. I know that everybody that I like seeing going into the theater that I was at tonight was going to see that. Now, my auditorium wasn't filled, but I know the next door one was because I initially was trying to get in the auditorium where it had more people. But for some reason, when I was trying to buy my ticket off Regal Cinemas website, it kept crashing saying, error, or whatever. So I went on Fandango and, they hooked me right up. But I ended up getting an auditorium that had less people. But then even when I was coming out, I was outside about to put my my out of theater review together, reaction or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was in the middle of doing it. And these two young kids was walking by and was like, yo, man, you have a YouTube channel. And I'm just like, yeah, I got a YouTube channel. And they was like, what do you do? And I'm like, I cover horror movies and stuff. They're like, oh, did you just go see Insidious 5? And I'm like, yeah. They was like, how was it? I said, it's solid. It ain't a bad movie. I was like, it could have been better, but you'll like it. And it was just like, oh, man, good looking out or whatever. What's your channel name and stuff like that? And I gave it to them. But the point is, like, everybody that I seen at the movie theater tonight was there watching Insidious. So,
yeah, I was really surprised of like how how many people were in my cinema as well, I was like, okay, because usually on a Thursday night, you might get a handful of people, but this one was like, it felt like a Friday night almost or a Saturday night. I was kind of like, oh wow, people really wanted to go see this. Or
Thursdays are
maybe,
starting to become the new Fridays and Saturdays, buddy, when it comes to these movies. And you really want to know what it is, too, is because there's a lot of us content creators out there, even if there's people who don't like deep dive into it, like on live streams or conversations or videos like we do. There's
Mhm.
people, who go to the movie theater and, they might clip out a little piece of the movie on their phone and upload it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And stuff like that. Like, so in my opinion, it didn't surprise me. Mostly everybody was out there on a Thursday night because I feel like Thursdays are starting to take over when it comes to movies.
I honestly prefer going to movies on Thursday, so I get it over with. I'm creating my
Right.
content, and I got the
Right.
rest of the weekend to do
Exactly.
something. Like,
And see,
uh,
and that's one thing as a content creator, and I'm sure, you feel this way, you know what I mean? Especially when you want to go see a movie that is going to be early released on Thursday. You kind of want to be talking about it, one of the first ones to talk about it.
right?
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And stuff like that. You want to be able to maximize how much, you can get people to watch what you're talking about. And
I
that's
am kind of
understandable.
jealous of everybody that's seeing Mission Impossible for already. I'm like, all this stuff's coming
That
out
does
about
look
Mission
good.
Impossible. It does look good, man, and the last one was really good.
It was.
And it was one of those franchises that kind of like grown on me over years, but now where they are now with it, I'm kind of like, man, these are some of the best action movies out there.
Tom
And
Cruise does his thing, man. He's
and I
great,
and I
man.
and I think this one is going, from what I'm hearing, it's like one of the best. Like it's awesome.
And it's a two-parter.
Yeah, they're supposed to be ending it. So I'm pretty sure this one's going to leave on a cliffhanger, but also Tom Cruise went on record to say that he would play he wants to make Mission Impossible movies until he's 80. So it's kind of like, is this really the ending? So I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of like the Fast and Furious thing. Like, this new Fast and
Yeah.
Furious is supposed to be the ending, but Vin Diesel's like, oh, we got so many stories we could tell, blah 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 blah.
Right.
So it's like, it's never gonna be the ending. Just like with
I, I,
Insidious,
I
this
I
ain't
like
the
how they
ending.
went from being normal street racers, who hijacked, trucks for parts and
VHS,
radios and systems
VCRs,
and NOS tanks to being like
international spies.
freaking federal international spies and oh man.
It,
Oh
it,
my
it,
goodness.
I definitely just go for it. I go to watch them just because I don't want to be bored. Like just entertain me for a
I
little
still
bit.
like the Fast and Furious movies. No matter how outlandish they get, they still do something for me. I still like
Yeah.
them.
1 and 7. No, 1, 5, and 7 were always my favorites. Out of the entire franchise. Now, have you seen Fast X?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
A lot of mixed reviews on it. I actually had a good time with it, and that's because of Jason Momoa being the bad
I was
guy.
about to say I do want to watch it because I heard he killed it.
Man, dude, his portrayal, I was like, man, he's making the damn movie. Like, if it wasn't for him, the movie would be a generic Fast and the Furious movie. But I'll be right back. I'll be just 2 seconds.
All right, bro. I mean, you ain't supposed to say that, so be careful. Wayne Turner in the chat saying, "Hi, horror hooligans. It is 3:34 p.m. Friday here in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much, Wayne, for the time update. I always appreciate it. And thank you so much to referring us as our new podcast name, Horror Hooligans. I can't wait for us to get that started. Hopefully, we'll have that up here within the next week or two." Shay Dawn saying, "Have a good night, everyone." Hey, Shay, you have a great night as well. And I will talk to you very soon. Wayne Turner said Insidious created by fellow Aussie Lee Whannell. The Conjuring created by Aussie James Wan. Together they created Saw. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny you brought up The Conjuring, Wayne, because I was telling Destin and everybody else in the chat that I maybe gave it a few minutes and I just couldn't really get into it initially because at that time I was just pooped out with all of the paranormal type of movies. But I'm actually going to give it another shot. So we'll see. We'll see if I like it. We'll see what happens. Shay saying okay with a smiley face. Yep, I will be talking to you soon. Shay, you have a great night. Get some rest. Wayne Turner says, I liked Fast X. 8 and 9 was terrible. Favorites are 5, 1, and 7. Okay. Yeah, I think number 1 is just, I don't think it will ever be topped. Like, it's just that great. Like, I am a huge fan of the original Fast and Furious. Like, I like that version of it. Like, it just, Fast and Furious, it started the whole, street racer craze, in my opinion. And I love it. Like, it just had this authenticity of street racing, and hijacking trucks and all that good stuff. Like, I really enjoy the original one. That's iconic in my opinion. They don't make car movies like the original Fast and Furious anymore. But I will also say this, is that Fast and Furious, the original one, in my opinion, was somewhat of a knockoff of Gone in 60 Seconds. It was. Because if you especially look at the ending of Gone in 60 Seconds, when they're all sitting at the table and they're like one big happy family and all that stuff, yeah, Fast and Furious definitely jacked that from them. Wayne Turner saying the Conjuring movie franchise amazingly is the highest grossing horror franchise of all time. Hey, a lot of people love The Conjuring. It is definitely a fan favorite.
Yeah, but is that all the budgets from every entry, or is that just the Conjuring movies? That's what I've always wondered.
Because
it's a Conjuring universe, and when we're saying
right.
the Conjuring movie franchise, there's only 3 main Conjuring movies, but with all the other addition ones, I'm pretty sure it is.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. Would you add the other ones?
I mean, if you want to call it a franchise because it's a universe, I mean, you talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe or DC or something like that. It might. I mean, I could see why it is. They kind of they owned. What was it, like 2008 to now? I don't know. It's still going.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wait a minute. The first Conjuring came out in 2008?
Oh, let me double check, man. I was just questioning myself on that.
Hold on. I'm looking it up too.
No, I'm wrong. 2013.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, damn, 2000. I'm about to say, damn, 2008. Wow, holy hell! Like hell, I got some catching up to do.
I thought it was earlier than that. My bad.
Yep, box office 319 million. I guess that was just the first one.
Yeah, that one was definitely a hit. I really want to go back. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I really want to go back and watch Conjuring 2. I remember watching it, and I don't think it was as good as The Conjuring, but it did have great elements, and it did introduce the nun. Yeah, dude. So we at least need to watch those movies for sure.
Wayne saying, I think it includes all like Annabelle. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Dan.
All right, so I'd say we'll wrap it up here in the next like 5-6 minutes. Anything else you want to say about Insidious 5, The Red Door, Destin? And given what you've seen in terms of the ending of the movie, when they do come off of this hiatus, what direction would you like to see the franchise go, especially after you get caught up watching 1, 2, 3, and 4?
All right, so to the beginning of that, Insidious: The Red Door is, I think, a solid film. If you're somebody that can tolerate such a wrong word. If you're somebody that does not like, if you can handle a slow burn a little bit, I think you're going to come out thoroughly enjoying it. If you go into it and you're thinking it's just going to be just a crazy movie from beginning to end, that's not what you're going to get. Like I said before, you're going to get drama before horror. But it is good. It is good for what is presented. It could be just a little bit tighter. Now, where I would want it to go, I'm not really I mean, like, I have seen the other movies, but I have to say, like, whether it being surrounded around the Lambert family or not, I really could care less. I like what they did here as far as a dad and the father-son dynamics and all that, and then, you know, like the all the other stuff that they did. I'm not gonna say what they did because it
Right.
might be spoilery, but I do appreciate that, and that's just me. As I was like, you got to care about these characters in order for it to matter. This isn't a Friday the 13th movie where you just don't care about any of the characters. So,
Right.
where I would want it to go, I would like for them to go in something different. I would honestly like for them to take it to a hard R, at least go there, bring back the Red Demon, and let's have a different lead. It could be somebody from these films. I really
Jenna
like
Ortega.
Jenna Ortega. Dude, that I was going to say that earlier. Like, Jenna Ortega, now that I didn't even know she was in the franchise until you said something. So now I want to go back and watch them. But that would be great if she took over. This new girl, what was her name again? I have to
Her
bring it
name
up
in the
again.
movie is Chris.
Chris, yeah. I thought she was a great addition. She could be a new lead later on because I really think that her as an actress, she really carried the movie. So I just want them to go. I want them to quit tipping their toes into horror. And with this PG-13 thing, the audience that originally saw the first films are grown up enough to watch an R-rated movie, and we're going to show up for it. And if The Conjuring can make over $300 million being rated R, so can Insidious. And maybe that's what's hindering Insidious is that PG-13 rating, because they don't take it to that next step. Let's spice it up just a little bit. That's what I want to see. And I want to see more Carnage Candy.
I agree. Especially with they have some really good ghoulies and monsters. They just they got to know how to utilize them better. Make them a little bit more brutal. Make them a little bit more intimidating.
Yeah, and they have such a great premise. They have this whole thing about the further. There's so much you can do with that.
Right.
Quit limiting yourself.
I agree. Wayne, well, real quick, Katie from Popping the Popcorn saying hi, friends. What's up, Katie? I hope you're having a great night. Thank you for stopping in.
Hey, Katie.
And Wayne asked initially, how was Patrick Wilson in his movie directorial debut? He needs some work. He was okay.
Yeah.
But he needs some work. Like Craven had on his rankings the other night, what, the blade needs sharpening?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. His blade needs a little sharpened when it comes to directing.
But solid first time.
Solid first time for sure. I will throw this in there. The shots of the monsters, especially like from a distance, because they're now back, they're out and stuff. The far away shots I thought were really well done.
Yeah.
How you could see it in the window, how you could see it in the back of his car. That was my favorite shot.
When it's out of focus just a little bit. Yeah.
Yes. And I remember just seeing it. I'm looking and I'm just like, oh shit, that's something coming up behind his car now. Like, oh, okay. And this was at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
So those far away shots from our directorial debut, those were great shots.
Now, I will say this. Since we are talking about the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
the guy that was there, that you know who I'm talking about, that he was like,
Yes.
hey, do I know you or whatever? I wanted more reasons why he was there. I thought he set this thing off or something. Like he triggered something to make this happen. But they kind of ignore that. It kind of felt like a cameo movie. You know what I mean? Like from the franchise, people just popped in like that's been throughout the entire franchise, kind of made their little appearance and was poof, be gone, and then they kind of wrapped it up. I don't know.
No, you actually have a really good point when you say that, because it now that you say it like that, it kind of does feel like this was like fan service cameo. We get to see all the old characters back, but at the same time, like some of these characters, like you said, like the one we see at the beginning, definitely could have played more of a role, because in so many ways, him being there kind of did trigger something.
Mm-hmm.
It triggered some of his memory.
Right. And I wanted to see what that was or how
I wanted to see. I thought that they were going to bring back Lee Winnell and his partner in person.
I did too. And man, that would have been great.
I liked what they did for it, but I really wanted to see them in person.
Yeah.
I felt like it would have meant so much more. And that's what I'm saying. Like especially in the first one, with adding that element of these guys, these are paranormal type, researchers and stuff, doing the stuff that they were doing, like testing the house and going through the house with certain things like metal detectors or whatever, spirit detectors. That added an extra layer to that movie, which is why I liked it. By not having them be in this one, it kind of felt like it took some of the spirit out of it.
Man, listen to you explain all that right there. I agree with you, but it makes me want to watch The Conjuring with you that much more. Because they do something similar.
Right. Okay. Oh, man. Well, damn. I don't know if that's a good thing. But I'm going to give it a shot, man. I'm feeling more confident now than I did when I first decided to give it a watch.
Yeah.
Wayne is asking, Destin, can you watch Insidious: The Red Door without watching any other movies in the series?
Probably not.
I'm about to say no. I will say this. 3 and 4, you don't have to watch 3 and 4 to understand Insidious 5: The Red Door. You have to watch 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. You have to. Otherwise, you will be left in the dark, especially from a storyline standpoint.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I can't remember much about Insidious 2, but definitely it's going to, because how the family dynamics and the dramaticness that this movie takes, it's going to hit you better. It's going to affect you better if you have watched those first 2 movies. It's going to make your experience better, is what I'm trying to say.
It will. I agree. Wayne says, you guys hear about an Australian, and Adrian, you have a great night, man. Sorry about that. Adrian K saying, I'm off to bed, tired from fishing. LOL, good night, everyone. Yes, have a great night, Adrian. I will be talking to you soon as well. Wayne saying, you guys hear about an Australian horror movie coming out soon by A24 studio called Touch Me. Looks freaky. I did see something about that. I want to watch the trailer.
I don't think I've seen that.
No, that's right. It's called Talk to Me. That's right. Yes. Talk to me.
Yeah. That's what I just saw that trailer again, and I was about to say, like, the last A24 big horror movie that was coming out was going to be Talk to Me. So I didn't know if those were related or what.
Yeah, I want to watch that trailer because I've seen like promotional ads for it, but I haven't clicked on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a good time. I hope it presents more than what is shown in the trailer. I'm just kind of like, okay, A24 always has those wild spins. Let's see what this one is.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna check out that trailer, Wayne. Wayne says, "Talk to Me"
It was
has a
at the
trailer.
beginning of mine, Insidious, was it not yours?
No,
Yeah, it was at the beginning of mine.
man, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Regal Cinemas. I mean, and I like that movie theater because it's old school for me. I've been going there since I was a kid. You know, it holds a lot of sentimental value given the
Yep.
location. But man, they don't know how to sell trailers anymore, man. It's more or less they're showing like their promotional stuff, their little skit, their little skit videos, and the trailers they do show. It's like 2 or 3 of them, and it's not the ones you probably want to see, and the other stuff that they show, it's like, oh yeah, if you're a fan of the boys or if you're a fan, like TV show stuff, you know what I mean? I'm just like, man, I remember the days where we used to get 5, 6 trailers in right before the movie started. The
Yeah.
first 10 minutes of the movie start time was trailers.
Dude, that's what takes me so long with AMC is the trailers are like 20 to 25 minutes long. And one of them is like an advertisement for AMC with Nicole Kidman.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, come on. I keep thinking like the movie's about to start. No, it's not. The movie's about to start. I could literally be 30 minutes late for a movie and the credits would just be coming on.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you, Destin. I was sitting in there when them trailers were about to start, and I'm just sitting there, just sitting in there, perched up. I'm like, my eyes are real big because I'm just waiting. All I want to hear is dun, 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 dun. I was waiting for it. I was like, come on, give us a Saw X trailer today. This has got to happen. This is a Lee Winnell and James Wan movie. This has to show, and it didn't show up. I was so heartbroken.
It's a missed
It
opportunity.
really is.
But dude,
Now
we're gonna be talking and watching it very, very soon. So I mean,
I know. I mean, it's already July 7th. We got 22 more days until the trailer is supposed to be seen at the convention. So before we know it, it'll be here.
Man, before we know it, it'll be October.
I know. Already. Summer's already almost over, man. Kids are about to start going back to school.
Man, I can't wait. I need my stuff.
Man, I can't wait. Yeah, no,
I got kids, man. Like they're always in my stuff. Like, quit eating my food. Go eat the school's food.
Oh, that's right. Hold on. Oh. Well, I don't know about this, Jacob, but I hope not.
Oh,
Jacob
yeah.
said AI is going to kill us. Judgment Day is coming. I don't know. I hope not.
Judgment. Yeah.
Judgment. I didn't even peep
I
that.
love like Judgment Day, Terminator 2 and stuff. I love like movies surrounded about AI. Have you seen the trailer to The Creator?
No.
Dude, it's Isaiah Washington, which is Denzel's son. He's been in some other movies. This movie looks like it's going to put him really on the map, and this movie looks epic. It's about AI. It's about the future, but it looks like a war is going. I need to rewatch the trailer, but I'm like, when I saw that trailer, I was like, this is going to be something special. The creator and Oppenheimer and Mission Impossible are probably my 3 most anticipated movies. Like, really, really coming out. Like, especially, I mean, like Mission Impossible is like, it's another Mission Impossible. It's probably the least one out of those 3, but like, I've heard Oppenheimer is actually a horror movie. And they're like, people are walking out.
You said Isaiah Washington?
Yeah. It's Denzel Washington's son. He's a good actor. He was in Tenet. He was in Black Klansman, and he was in recently Amsterdam.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't know he was Denzel's son.
Yeah, dude. If you close your eyes, his voice sounds just like Denzel, dude. You'd be
Holy
like,
hell!
yeah, dude. Like if you watch some of his movies, you just close his eyes while he's talking, and he's like, man, that's Denzel. Like
That's
he's just got
crazy.
that. Yeah, but this movie, The Creator, I gotta see it. And Oppenheimer for sure, man. And it was so crazy.
Oppenheimer does look pretty good. I heard. What
But
is it
there's
like? 3 hours long?
Yeah, it's like Christopher Nolan's new movie. Matt Damon's in it, and the guy who
Right,
plays Cecilian Murphy or whatever his name is. But
Cillian Murphy. Yeah, the
they
real
said
life
like a
Chucky
week
doll.
ago. They said a week ago, like this movie's really a horror movie, and I was like,
That's
a
what I
horror.
hear about it too.
I'm like a horror movie, so I think it's going to be just like one of those Indians, like Judgment Day or something. Like it's going to be something that's going to be horrific.
Right.
So
It's gonna be
I don't know.
interesting, man. We got some good stuff coming out, man.
Yeah, Saw X, man. Like I'm excited, man. Like I think
I'm
and
excited
then
too.
we got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game coming out. That's gonna be wild. I'm gonna be all over that. Kane Hodder's playing Leatherface in that game, man.
Nice.
So and then I guarantee you by I would say by October, by Halloween, we're gonna hear something about Scream 7. We're gonna hear something about Scream
Well,
7.
apparently we're supposed to hear something when the physical media drops.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I just had my purchase come out of my account for the Steelbook, the Best Buy Steelbook. So I guess it's on its way.
Nice. Yeah, apparently from the rumors that are being talked about, apparently we're supposed to hear an announcement the day of the physical media release. So we'll see.
Who said that?
That's what the rumors, bro. Have you been missing some of these Scream rumors over the last couple days to the week?
I probably have. I've been in. I went and visited family and
Okay.
back home. I've been kind of like out of the loop for at least a week or two.
Well, you guys all know, as Destin likes to say, at some point in my streams, all roads lead back to Woodsboro at some point. So, over the last week or two, I should say, we've gotten some news talking about the draft is completed, that basically Radio Silence said they are not going to do this movie unless they have their team, their cast, everybody. You know what? It'd just be better if I just pull it up right now, so I can give you everything.
Yeah,
And
dude.
keep in mind, Nev was in Denver over the past weekend.
I saw that.
I did not hear what she said about when somebody asked her about Scream 7.
Right.
I watched this one guy's video of the panel. That question was never asked. So what I'm assuming is that it was at another panel, like another day.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever, because you know how that goes. Sometimes they'll do 2-3 panels in one weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So the video I watched, I didn't hear Nev say anything about Scream 7. Nobody asked her about Scream 7. However, I guess at another one of the panels at a different start time or whatever, or on a different day, somebody asked her she was going to be in Scream 7. And her exact words were, I don't know if I can talk about that.
That's exactly what I was wondering if you were going to say, because I was like, that's what I heard. It's like, why would you need to not talk about it if you weren't so she can't talk about it because something has been approached to her or whatever.
Right.
So if she look at Scream 6, she did talk about it. She was like, yeah, I turned it down. I'm not in it. And she was pretty open about that. So for her to say something like that, opposite of what she said for Scream 6, then it's like there's got to be a contract offered to her somewhere. So,
Oh no, there definitely is, man. I think when you're saying words like that, because Nev, when she left Scream 6, she was open about, hey, I'm not going to be in it.
mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be in this movie, so please quit asking me. Stuff like that. The fact that she said, I can't talk about it, that tells me they are talking. They're in negotiations. Excuse me. Either they're in negotiations or she's already signed and she can't talk about it until they're going to make the formal announcement.
Yeah.
So, and apparently Melissa and Courtney are the two stars that are signed on for Scream 7. There is a completed draft of the film. Radio Silence wouldn't do this movie without the former team, including Jenna. And the reason why that is being brought up is because other rumors that came out last week, the studio is still hoping for a release, or at least hoping to start filming at the end of this year.
Well, I mean, I think Jenna will be done with Beetlejuice 2. I mean, there's already like a lot of shots of her and Winona on the set, and they're already like in the middle of filming right now. So she should be ready to. I don't see us getting it early 2024. I don't see us getting it early 2024. I could see us getting it by Halloween, maybe, and that's stretching it.
December. I'm calling it now. If they're going to release it next year, if the studio's like, okay, we want it next year, the only plausible way for that to happen, in my opinion, with everybody's schedules, because we got to think, Radio Silence and Melissa are doing that Universal Horror Monster movie too.
That's right.
And so for me, if you're going to release it next year and you get everybody that you need to get on board for this movie, it would make sense if you release it in December, because not only does that give you enough time to film and get everybody in order, but that'd be a nice little homage if this is supposed to be the end of the franchise for now and the end of the Carpenter Loomis storyline, the OG characters, all that stuff. Why not pay homage to the original and drop it in December like Scream 1996 dropped in December?
Wasn't it like December 18th?
I believe so.
Something
or 20th,
like
I think.
Maybe it was the 20th. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. That would be great. I think that's a possibility. If it's not that, it's going to be early 2025.
I agree. I don't see
January or March again for 2025.
Right. I mean,
I really don't even look at. I really don't even look at January as like the dumping ground for movies anymore. Just the way things have been for the past 5 years, we've gotten really good movies in the month of January.
Right. Real quick on Wayne saying writer's strike, possible actor's strike. I think at least when it comes to Scream, I think that they already have an idea where they want to go for 7. Just like they did with 6, they already had a draft completed for 6 while 5 was being released. Yeah. So I think they're ahead of the game. Now, if we can't get the writers, to come back, then that might be an issue. I don't know if the actors could go on strike too, because I've been hearing some things about that. But it's like the old saying goes, money talks, bullshit walks. These people are going to get paid, and rightfully so. And then everything's going to go back to let's create some movies.
Yep.
So, and especially for Scream 7, I mean, this is a big moneymaker, as you saw with 6. So I'm pretty sure they're going to try to get these writers' strikes and all that taken care of.
Yeah.
Because if we know this about Hollywood, they don't like to lose money.
That's very true. That's very true.
Wayne Turner says should cast Joshua Jackson as Tara's dad in Seven, playing same guy from Scream 2. A big red herring, not Ghostface.
It depends. I feel like that character has not been developed enough.
Right.
So you
And
would
I
need
feel
to
like
develop him
you'd
in
have to
this
reveal
one.
that he was from Woodsboro. Like
That's true because he's
yeah. Like I mean
I'm all about
they were
Joshua Jackson coming back, but I don't know about Tara's dad.
yeah, I don't know neither. I want him to be the new if they're gonna make a new stab movie, I want him to be the director. Because I think that just makes perfect sense because he was going to school as a film major. Maybe he went on to become a big time director.
Yeah.
And it would make sense for his character because he actually encountered the original Legacy characters, at least two of them in Sydney and Randy.
Would have
So,
been so cool, like with Sarah Michelle Gellar being in that scene. Like Joshua Jackson needed to be a death scene as well. At least. Like I don't know. Like I was like, they both were introduced in the same classroom, the same scene. And I feel like we went with Sarah Michelle Gellar, but I thought like also like if you're not gonna kill Joshua Jackson, like let him be somewhere throughout the movie here and there to maybe give us a red herring, you know? Like he was an urban
right.
legend. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Did Scream come out before Urban Legend?
I'm trying to think. I think it might have. Or maybe the same. Maybe they might have been a year apart. And I love that Robert Englund was like the professor in that movie, man. Like,
right.
Urban Legend was so damn good.
It is.
It did not get the recognition.
Yeah, Urban Legend came out after Scream 2.
Okay. How many years later?
Only like a few months. Like it came out in 98. Scream came out in late 97.
Okay, yeah. So I knew it was close. Those were my jams, though.
They were supposed to do a Urban Legend remake with Rebecca Gayheart and Loretta Devine returning, but that got scrapped.
I'm all about that, man. Bring Urban Legend back. I always thought that Urban Legend would have been great as a series also. Like, keep it as a slasher whodunit aspect,
Right.
but based around urban legends. Don't go like every season's like one season's a supernatural.
Yeah, don't go Bloody Mary.
Don't do all that kind of stuff. No, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's keep it slasher, but surrounded around, urban legends. So many seasons you could do. I mean, that would be how many seasons? Like,
yeah,
you're golden for a while as long as it's like good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just don't do what I Know What You Did Last Summer TV show did.
Man, I couldn't even get through it, man. What was wrong with that shit?
They tried.
It stressed me out. I was like thinking like, whoever
was the right. I know they went through so many like showrunners. I'm not worried about the damn showrunner. I'm worried about who's writing this shit.
Yeah.
Like the whole cult aspect and okay, if you're gonna go that route, cool, but can you at least finish it? Like it's like they didn't tie anything in. Like, and I cannot. Yeah. I'm surprised I made it all the way to the end. And when I was at the end, I was still confused.
What was it? Could they not use the Slicker outfit because of rights issues or something? I mean, they could have used something.
I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah.
I have no idea. None whatsoever.
It just was a missed opportunity. I was so excited for that. And I was like, man, why can't I finish this? Why do I not even? I had to like watch a YouTube video to figure out who the hell it was by the end because I couldn't sit through all of it.
And it was disgusting when you found out who it was.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It's like, really, this is what y'all decided to do? Okay, like
It was a little woke.
maybe so.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I just thought that it was kind of like anything that is related to I Know What You Did Last Summer. That show was not like, at least maybe the first episode with the whole stuff, the accident and all that kind of stuff. I was like,
Right.
okay, everything past the first episode was like, not I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even know what direction they're going in. It
Yeah.
just went all over the place. It's crazy. Hopefully, this sequel with Freddie Prinze and Jennifer Love. Hopefully, it pops.
Man, dude,
I think I'm going to be.
Wait.
I know. I'm going to be looking into that to see if there's any new news.
My acting coach was in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the boat captain, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Red West.
Oh, wow.
He was the one that like drove them on the boat to the island, and then
Nice.
Freddie Prinze Jr. like stole the boat from him. So yeah, like around that time when that movie came out, I was actually acting at his studio when I was in my teens, and I asked him a lot of stuff because I had the hugest crush on Jennifer Love Hewitt, and he was just like, "Yeah, she's a sweet girl." No, man, I need to hear more than that. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just like this young 14, 15-year-old kid, like taking acting lessons. But yeah, dude. I thought it was really original script. He was supposed to get killed. He was supposed to actually drive Freddie Prinze Jr. to the island while Freddie Prinze Jr. goes to up there to find everybody. He's supposed to stay back with the boat, and he's supposed to get killed.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the script before they actually made it to where like he stole the boat.
Okay. Wow. I learned something new every day. I can't wait for I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel 2. I am going to be looking up Jennifer K. Robinson, see what other stuff she's done, so I can get a general idea and perspective on what style she directs with. I'm fascinated with it. I just hope they don't really go through with trying to bring back Ryan Phillippe and Sarah Michelle Gellar. I mean, unless the only way I see this working is if you're going to pick up from the events of when they ran over Ben Willis and then retcon everything else. Everything else we saw in the original I Know What You Did Last Summer past the point of them hitting him and dumping him in the river, it doesn't exist if you want to bring those two back because they're dead. Like that's the only way I can see them bringing them back, unless you're going to have flashbacks, stuff like that. Like maybe Julie sees visions of them, but I don't know.
Yeah. I never really thought about it from that point. I always wanted them just to retcon the ending of I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. But I wouldn't be mad if they just like picked up after the first film. I don't know.
I don't know neither, man.
Ryan Phillippe would be great to be back. Sarah Michelle Gellar as well. I don't know.
Tyrese Daniels.
I don't want them. I don't really want.
Now.
Yeah, I don't really want them to retcon the first I Know What You Did Last Summer. I could see. I could accept the second one, but
yeah, I don't neither. I just know that they're trying to bring back Ryan Phillippe and Sarah Michelle Gellar, and I just don't know how you do that unless you do that. You know what I mean? With the whole retconning, because they're dead.
If Chad can survive all them stabs, Ryan Phillippe can survive all them stabs.
Man, my boy was putting ice. He gunned. My boy putting ice. He ain't surviving that. You know what I mean? Like I was mad when they killed Barry off. I wanted Barry to survive.
Yeah, man. And that was one thing I loved about I Know What You Did Last Summer is like, these even the friend characters that were supposed to be just like killed, you cared about them because they built their characters a little bit,
Destin, I don't know how you're going to feel about this because I know you did not like Thor: Love and Thunder so much.
Okay.
So the director that's doing the new I Know What You Did Last Summer is the one who directed Thor: Love and Thunder.
Bullshit. Tiki Watiti? I like him. I just didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder.
No.
I like the one before. I love Thor Ragnarok, and I love What We Do in the Shadows, the movie and the show. But he's directing I Know What We Did Last Summer. Are you sure?
No, I think Dino's talking about the girl I mentioned, Jennifer Caden Robinson. Hold on. Who?
No, she didn't direct Thor: Love and Thunder.
She was involved with Love and Thunder. Okay, Dino says she was involved with Love and Thunder.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm all about it. It's another slasher franchise that's getting revitalized. So I accept it any which way we can get it.
Right. I'm going to look her up, though. I want to see what other stuff she's done. But I am about to close down the stream for the night, guys. This was definitely a lot of fun. Destin, what are you doing tomorrow night?
Probably doing a live stream for either Scream Talk or maybe just a hangout, like it's my Friday night live stream. I didn't get to do it last weekend, so I'm going to do it this weekend.
What do you got planned for Saturday night?
Not a damn thing.
All right. We can get to some spoiler talk for Insidious then.
Oh, I'm down.
If you're not doing it. All right, cool. Yeah. I mean, because I ain't gonna lie. I mean, this was definitely a lot of fun, but doing non-spoiler reviews does kind of handicap with everything you feel and want to say. But again, I was just trying to be mindful for people who did not watch it. But Saturday, the gloves come off. You know what I mean?
Do you remember? Yeah. Saturday, definitely. But do you remember, like, me and you, when it was one of our first streams, maybe our first stream, like, one-on-one?
Okay.
It was about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
For the black phone, and we tried to do the similar thing.
Right, yeah.
We tried to do a non-spoiler, and it was just so hard. We wanted to talk about so many things.
Right.
It's like we just couldn't. So,
right. Yeah, man. Like, we're definitely going to get to the spoiler talk on Saturday. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm down. Count me in.
Hell yeah. Absolutely, buddy. But all right, everybody in the chat, everybody get some rest. Y'all have a great night. It is 2:19 here on the East Coast. I'm going to catch you guys later. I will probably do a stream myself tomorrow. I will say keep an eye out for the community post because I'm creating a schedule because like now I'm going to start going live every morning starting next week, at least 5 days a week or whatever. So definitely keep an eye out for those notifications. I'm excited because I'm expanding the podcast, you know what I mean? Putting some more days behind it to go along with my videos and other live streams that I do. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so happy that now I'm going to be on a set schedule for my podcast and all that. It's going to be great. I can't wait. And as well as stay tuned for some news on me and Destin's new horror podcast channel, Horror Hooligans. We will definitely be keeping you guys up to date with what's going on with that. Hopefully we can get the first episode shot here soon. But okay, everybody, have a great night. I'm going to catch you guys later.
All right, everybody, have a good night.
You are now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times.